Hi, I'm Lisa Gualtieri. I'm an assistant professor at Tufts University School of Medicine, and I'm going to be teaching you about competitive analyses, what they are, why you want to do them, and how to go about doing them. So first, what is a competitive analysis? It's a systematic way of looking at what your competitors do for similar types of apps to the one that you're designing. I use the word competitor loosely because sometimes these are your best friends, but in a sense you're always competing against them because you want people to download your app instead of their apps. And next, why do you want to do a competitive analysis? Basically, if you do a competitive analysis, you can learn an enormous amount about what other organizations are doing well that you might want to borrow from, what they're doing poorly that you want to avoid, and also you can learn how to distinguish yourself given your expertise or your organizational expertise. When you conduct a competitive analysis, all you need to use is the information that's available on the app websites, in app reviews, in app stores. So it's really just that surface level. If you want to do a really in-depth competitive analysis, you can actually download the apps and you can really use them and you'll learn a lot more. So what I want to describe now is the process of conducting a competitive analysis. And the starting point, not surprisingly, is that you need to identify what are the competing apps. Sometimes you know that off the top of your head, and there are a lot of ways of finding out through doing searches. The most productive way of learning what your competition is to think about how are your personas going to be looking for apps. So if you've got a set of 4 personas and you're designing a weight loss app, what are the terms they're going to be using? And what are the sites that they're going to be going to search for apps? Or where might they be seeing a review of a bunch of weight loss apps? And that's going to give you the best information about who your competition is. So what I provide you with is a template that you can use for doing a competitive analysis. It has 20 areas, and while that might sound daunting, it's really not that incredibly time-consuming to do. So the first thing is just the very simple, what's the name of the app, what's the logo, and what are the URLs for the website or for where it is in app stores. And the reason for the URLs is that you'll go through this process, but you may want to go back and check some things in more depth later. So it's a lot easier to have that information. Second, what is the objective for the app at a glance? So if you go into that app store, say, what are you going to see and what's immediately going to jump out at you? Because a lot of times people don't read that information. They're making a pretty split-second decision, and you want to see what is that decision based on. Another large category is 9, the layout and the navigation. So is it easy to use? Is it easy to figure out what options you have available to you? And that's really important because people can get pretty easily frustrated and they can abandon an app for that reason alone. So once again, conducting a competitive analysis is not an incredibly difficult or time-consuming process, but it's an enormously valuable one in designing a successful health app. I'm Lisa Gualtieri. I'm an assistant professor at Tufts University School of Medicine. Thank you.